right, here we are, guys. Here we are.
Let's let's get clipped up. Fractal Islam, Part 1, the night sermon. Well, it's not, this is, I have two parts of Fractal Islam writings, but this is, the reading itself is Part 2. Let's begin. I am Abe Zucca, the reader and writer of Fractal Islam, the creator, the founder of Temple of Zucca. Check out my art at zuccagallery.com. You can come into my gallery if you're in Phoenix, Arizona. It's at 1301 Grand Avenue. I have a small low amount of subscribers on my YouTube channel, but if you go on my Instagram, you can see a lot of my art. I am a writer and painter in downtown Phoenix. Let's begin the readings of Fractal Islam Part 2 with the Angelic Earth. The Angelic Earth, Destiny in the Light of Glory. Destiny in the Light of Glory. From the light of glory, Ahura Mazda created the many and the good. The earth is an angel. The ontological fire. Varna is not light as metaphor, but light as substance, the primordial luminosity from which beings are born and to which they return, the solar marrow of existence. To possess Varna is not to possess radiance, but to be radiance. It is not a gift bestowed, but a mode of being achieved through alignment with cosmic truth. The soul recognizes itself only when it sees its own reflection back from the world equally luminous. Thus, the angel of the earth is not a symbol, but a mirror. Svarna is the fire that burns without smoke, the flame that illumines without consuming. It is the elemental energy of resurrection, the inner sun of beings. All knowledge in the imaginal world is photic. Truth appears as forms of light, and falsehood appears as shadows. The measure of perception is the measure of radiance. Destiny, Dana, the angels of one's own being. Destiny is Mazdian. Cosmology is not imposed from outside, but revealed from within. It is the unveiling of one's Diana, the angel of one's own being. Your destiny is not what you will become, but the celestial figure you already are in. You already are in the Mendok state. Life is the slow recognition of that pre-existing archetype. Digne is not a guardian angel, but your own perfected form awaiting your arrival. It is your image in the light of glory, the divine double that calls you from the future. To follow destiny is to align Getik existence with the Mendok form, to make the visible resonate with the invisible, the earthly with the angelic. Despair arises when one loses sight of their own Dianya. The Dianya courage begins when one hears the faintest echo of its voice. The angelic earth, Samyat, Spenta Ameti, the Imago Terra. The earth shines through the person, the angel of the earth's destiny. To behold her is to perceive the earth in its original luminous vocation. Spenta Armati, the feminine archangel of earth, represents the contemplative earth, the patient earth, the earth in prayer. Zamyat represents its victorious radiance. The earth in its Mendok form is not matter but consciousness. It is the terrestrial analog of Dienne, a planetary angel whose destiny is intertwined with the souls it shelters. The angelic earth does not rotate, it blossoms. Its seasons are phases of revelation. Its mountains are crystallizations of prayer. Its oceans are imaginal mirrors of lights of glory. To dwell on the earth without perceiving its angel is to live in a house where the host is invisible. To perceive the angel is to enter the true hospitality of existence. Sooner or later, I hope not to keep reading, but to have conversations over the readings. But until then, I will keep reading. Radiant duality, Fravarti and creature. Every being is a duality of light. The Fravarti heavenly double and the Getic manifestations, earthly embodiment. One shines in heaven, the other labors on earth. Varna flows between these two forms like a current. When the earthly self acts in accordance with the heavenly pattern, the current strengthens. When it deviates, the current dims. The goal of life is not self-improvement, but reunification. To become once again the luminous being you always were, the Fravarti you forgot. The transfigured soul is not an ascended individual, but a completed duality. Earth reconciled with heaven, shadow consumed in flame, form reunited with archetype. Theurgy, how light works in the world. Theurgy is the science of making light effective, ritual actions that increase Varna in the world and align terrestrial patterns with celestial prototypes. The world is created and preserved through liturgy. Every creative act is a recapitulation of the primordial ceremony in which the archangels first brought forth the cosmos. The subscription is low on this channel. I really don't care to keep reading, but I will until I have a conversation on this channel. I am Abe Zucca. I wrote this book, Fractal Islam. I'm an artist in downtown Phoenix. Check out my art at zuccagallery.com. And if you happen to be in Phoenix, check out Abe Zucca Gallery. I will continue reading. To act theurgically is to not manipulate forces, but to collaborate with angels, to become the human bridge through which the light of glory enters matter. Only luminous actions survive death. Every deed performed in alignment with Danya becomes a structure in her quality, the earth divisions. Theurgy is not magic, it is love made luminous, intention made radiance, gesture made destiny. Earth's destiny, Freshkart. Freshkart, the transfiguration of the world is not the end of time, but its fulfillment. When the earth's Varna shines fully through its forms and all shadows are dissolved. The Seoshyants, saviors to come, are not external redeemers, but the perfected Denya of humanity, collectively realized. Resurrection is the restoration of the earth in angelic state, its Mendak purity, its original radiance before the invasion of Abrahamic darkness. The earth longs for its transfigured form, just as the soul longs for its Fravarti. Those cosmologies is the mirror of anthropology. Freshkart is the moment when the earth becomes fully imaginal, every stone translucent, every tree luminous, every creature a body of glory. The Titans integrate in your recurso cosmology. Prometheus steals Varna, not fire. What he brings to humanity is the imaginal luminosity needed to perceive the angelic earth. Atlas carries not the globe, but its destiny. The weight he bears is the earth's longing for its own luminous archetype. The machine gods are distorted reflections of Varna, technological, constructive, attempting to imitate the light of glory without the ethical or spiritual grounding that sustains it. The fractal body, Fractal Islam, is the form Varna takes when seen from multiple dimensions. Each fold of the fractal is a reflection of the soul's radiance in a different cosmos. Fractal Islam, in the visionary ecology, the earth as luminous habitat. To live ecologically with Fractal Islam is not simply to conserve terrestrial resources, but to relate to the earth as luminous person, a being whose angelic presence demands reverence. Environmental destruction is imaginal destruction. the weakening of humanity's capacity to perceive the angelic earth. The health of ecosystems is proportional to Varna of their inhabitants. Radiance is an ecological force. When humans forget the earth's angel, deserts spread not only across landscapes but across souls. Angelic perception. Vision is not optical but ontological. It perceives beings as flames of destiny rather than objects of utility. To see the Varna and to see the world's resurrected form, the Menduk shining through Getik. When the eye becomes luminous, the world becomes luminous. The earth appears in its angelic glory. Perceiving the earth's angel is the first initiation. Uniting with one's Dhyanya is the second. Embodying Varna is the third and final. The angelic future, Ricorso's horizon. The Ricorso project itself, like Fractal Islam, is an act of Varna. You are building a textual earth of visions, of words where concepts become luminous beings. Cycles, titans, shameless fire, machine gods, arrow messengers, pastoral, fractal body are cities in the imaginal topography of the angelic earth. Every axiom is a lamp, every category is a constellation, every treatise is a mountain. To write is to emit, to read is to receive, to understand is to become radiant. Shams and Rumi, fire, mirror, and transformation. The flame that burns in me is not a me. What you call love is my fire consuming you. Between lover and beloved there is no heaven. Shams as solar catastrophe. Shams is not a man but a rupture, a solar wound torn into the fabric of Rumi's life so that the infinite could bleed through. He is the wandering apocalypse of love, an incinerator of learned selves, a walking theophany dressed as a beggar. Shams does not teach, he burns away what obstructs teaching. His pedagogy is combustion. To meet Shams is to love the world, to lose the world. To lose Shams is to find the world transfigured. He is the unthinkable guest on the threshold of rational house, the one who knocks only to burn the door. Rumi as turning flame. Rumi is a scholar, shattered, a jurist liquefied into song, a theologian turned into a whirl of fire around an invisible sun. His turning is not dance, but ontology, rotation as cosmic consent, an imitation of the planet circling the one. Rumi's poetry is the afterglow of Shams' disappearance, language as the ash of devouring theophany. The Mathnawa is not a book, but a furnace that heats the reader until the iron of heat of the heart becomes pliable. In Rumi, love becomes the physics, a cosmology, a soteriology, fire as the most exact language of God. Transformation. Fanya Baka. Fanya is the annihilation of the fictional self. Baka is the unveiling of the real self that was always divine. Annihilation is not death, but lucidity. The moment when the false self recognizes it was false. Transformation is the passage from opacity to translucency, letting the light of the real pass through without resistance. The seeker does not change. He is changed by fire, by love, by the disappearance of everything he clings to. The Shams Rumi accesses the dynamo of spiritual metamorphosis. One burns, the other turns, one hides, the other sings. The heart's mirror and the angelic light. Polish the mirror of your heart and you will see God. Every angel is a mirror of one's light. Purity is ontological clarity. Safa is not moral purity, but optical purity. The removal of the psychic dust that blocks the passage of light. The heart is a celestial instrument. Its default condition is luminosity, not stain. Purity is not the absence of sin, but the presence of God. What remains after everything not God is polished away. The impure heart is a fogged mirror. The pure heart is a sunrise. The Mazdean light of glory. Varna is the primordial radiance of the soul, the luminous double shining in the Nakohahad, long before incarnation. It is the fire that does not burn, the light that does not blind, the glory that does not inflate. To possess Varna is to be in one's angelic shape. To lose it is to become opaque. Every being is surrounded by an imaginal corona. Spiritual practice is the intensification of this subtle luminosity. When Varna rises, destiny becomes visible. Angelic light, mirror upon mirror. Angels are mirrors of mirrors, the transmission of divine radiance through successive refinement of substance. The human heart is capable of reflecting angels because its deepest structure is angelic. Every revelation is a mirror event, God reflecting himself in a heart that has become sufficiently clear. Angelology is optics, mysticism is photonics. The resurrection body is the heart mirror polished to transparency, Varna fully unveiled. The resurrection body is the heart mirrored polished to transparency. The resurrection body is the heart mirror polished to transparency. The resurrection body is the heart mirror polished to transparency. The Sufi path integrated with your Titan Prometheus machine god cosmology. The path is God's descent into man. Prometheus stole fire, the mystic returns it. The Titan's guard threshold was crossed only by surrender. The Sufi path as Titan discipline. The path is the human ascent into angelic form, requiring a discipline as severe as that of any Titan. Ordeals, purification, vigil, rupture. Just as Titans bear the weight of the sky, the mystic bears the weight of the infinite in the fragile vessel of the heart. Spiritual practice is the heroic labor of turning flesh into light. Atlas lifting the world not upon his shoulders but within his chest. The early Sufis resemble primordial Titans, desert wanderers, wool wearers, naked ones whose very bodies were laboratories of the real. Prometheus in the fire of Gnosis. Prometheus steals fire to give it to man. The mystic steals himself from fire to return himself to God. Fauna is the divine counter theft, God claiming back what Prometheus originally smuggled into human clay. The Promethean flame is the lower analogy of Varna. Both radiate transformation, but one burns while the other enlightens. Sufi gnosis is Promethean only in appearance. It is not rebellion but surrender, not theft but transparency. Where Prometheus fractures, shams unifies. Where Titans resist, Rumi melts. That is Fractal Islam. Machine gods, orthogonality, and mystic unknowability. The machine god of technoscience are rational monoliths that simulate illumination, but lack the heart's mirror. The mystic's unknowability is the inverse of the machine god's predictability. The former dissolving categories, the later enforcing them. Sufi bewilderment, hayara. The Sufi path is the earth remembering its own angelic form. Safa applied to geography, Varna applied to matter. Every step on the path heals a wound in the world. The heart's polishing polishes mountains, rivers, and cities. The mystic does not transcend the earth, he resurrects it, turning the world into a mirror of the angelic earth. The final stage is not escape but return. A titan descending the mountain, a Prometheus freed of his chains, a human wearing the robe of light. The heart is the axis where Sufis fire, Titan endurance, Promethean flame, and angelic radiance converge. When the heart is purified, it becomes a generator, an engine that powers the world. The mystic is the true atlas. He carries not the sky, but its meaning. The final transformation is not ascension, but translucence. Not leaving the world, but making it shine. The path ends where it begins. The one recognizing itself in the mirror of the human. Before orthodoxy, truth, error, memory, power. How does truth happen? By night and day, the seven heavens revolve. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. Orthodoxy before orthodoxy. Truth as a moving earth, revelation as a contested memory. The revolving earth of truth. Truth is not stationary earth, but a celestial mechanics. A celestial mechanics of belief. Communities revolve around the truths they declare immobile. Every orthodoxy begins as a hypothesis orbiting uncertainty in a sky of competing claims. Galileo did not move the earth, he revealed that the earth had always been moving. Likewise, orthodoxy does not create truth, it captures the motion already underway. Communities do not guard truth, truth organizes communities by demanding a center around which they must spin. A truth universally believed becomes indistinguishable from reality, like a geoid mistaken for a sphere. Thinkable and the unthinkable truth. What a community can think is bound by the architecture of its truth machine. The unthinkable marks the horizon of its epistemic sky. The satanic verses were once thinkable because early Muslims lived in a world where prophetic error was imaginable, even discussable. The same incident became unthinkable when new criteria of truth made the very possibility of prophetic error inconceivable. The thinkable is not a property of event, but of intellectual ecologies. What is thinkable today was once a commonplace. What is unthinkable tomorrow is already stirring in the margins. Orthodoxy as power and sanction. Orthodoxy is not the victory of one idea over another. It is the power to render dissent unintelligible. Sanction is the invisible architecture of truth. Where no dissenters exist, the architecture has succeeded completely. The most potent orthodoxies are those whose violence is never felt because it has become atmospheric. A community of truth is held together not by belief, but by the shared impossibility of believing otherwise. Orthodoxy is gravitational field. Deviation requires energy. Conformity is the natural fall towards the center. Historical memory and the fractured archive. Historical memory is not a mirror of the past, but a machine for manufacturing narratives in the present. The earliest Muslims transmitted multiple truths, not because they were confused, but because memory itself is multivocal. Later communities reduced the polyphony to a single line. The tiding of memory is the first act of orthodoxy. What we call the earliest sources are fossils of living conversations, memory petrified into sediment. To examine is to perform archaeology on chains of trust. Each link is both a transmission and a choice. Competing truth projects, Sarah, Tafsir, Hadith. There was never one early Muslim tradition, only Fractal Islam. There were three partially overlapping universes, the epic, the exegetical, and the normative. Sarah Mangazi sought the heroic narrative of the messenger, Islam as epic biography. Tafsir sought the meaning of revelation, Islam as textual cosmos. Hadith sought the prescriptive norm, Islam as law and practice. Each project produced a different prophet, a different truth, and a different orthodoxy. Orthodoxy arises when one truth project colonizes the other. The isnad and verification. Isnad is a genealogy of trust, a chain where each name is in miniature epistemic cosmos. Isnad is both method and myth. Its authority rests on the belief that transmission can be made linear. Fabricated chains show that authority was desired more than accuracy. The dream of authenticity exceeds the reach of memory. When chains grow backwards, they reveal the future, trying to rewrite the past. To assess isnad is not to test reports, but to study the social imagination of truths. Cultural production in the light of error. Error is not the opposite of truth, but the one of its preconditions. Communities require the possibility of error in order to sharpen the edges of certainty. Early Muslims accepted prophetic fallibility not because they doubted revelation, but because they had not yet constructed the machinery that made doubt impossible. As cultures refine their sense of the sacred, earlier forms of truth become relics of a less purified age. Truth is a child of culture, and culture is a child of power. The genealogy is circular, not linear. Axioms of revelation as contested light. Revelation is not only what God says, it is what communities can hear. The satanic verse incident unsettles revelation because it exposes the porous boundary between divine light and human vulnerability. Later, orthodoxy sealed the boundary by asserting prophetic immunity and textual inviolability. Early Muslims lived closer to the heat of revelation's emergency. The boundary between divine and human light was still molten. Revelation becomes perfect only when memory decides it must be so. Truth as taitomaki, recursos integration. Truth formation resembles the taitomaki. The primordial forces struggle until one becomes Atlas, bearing the world's belief on its shoulders. Orthodoxy is Promethean in reverse. Instead of stealing fire from the gods, it extinguishes competing fire to protect one flame. The early Islamic cosmos was a fractal body of truth. Orthodoxy compressed it into a single spine. The satanic verses incident marks the moment when the angelic earth and Titan earth diverged, when interpretive multiplicity was gradually replaced by divine unicity. To study this incident is to map the tectonic collision of truth, memory, power, and cosmology. How truth happens not in the moment of the event, but in the centuries that follow it. Truth is not discovered, it crystallizes. Orthodoxy is the final stage of truth's metamorphosis, the hardening of fluid memory into a single authorized shape. Fractal Islam. Truth happens when the improbable becomes inevitable through social gravity. Truth happens when a community describes that nothing else can. Truth happens when a community decides that nothing else can. That is the final reading of part 2, Fractal Islam. You can check out my art at zuccagallery.com. I'm a painter and writer in downtown Phoenix. Google my name, Abe Zucca. And if you care to, please subscribe, like, share. I'll see you guys later.